Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Edunation 365. Today we will try and understand the current situation of Indian and global economy along with aftermath effects of coronavirus pandemic. I'm going to keep this video so simple so that even a non-UPSC candidate can take some knowledge out of it. You all might have heard or experienced 2020 stock market crash, also known as coronavirus crash, a major stock market crash after Wall Street crash of 1929. There are two parts of this crash. One is 20th February 2020 to 7th April 2020 and the other one is October 1st to present, which is ongoing now. If you're lucky enough to survive the first, may Almighty help you survive the second. Okay, that being said, before we try to understand the ramifications of this crash, let us try to visualize the scenario before the corona pandemic. Before COVID, global unemployment was at its lowest in the history and quality of life was improving until late 2019. In fact, International Monetary Fund (IMF) in 2019 predicted that world's economy was going through a synchronized shutdown and also economy is on its slowest pace since 2007-8 global financial crisis. It is significant to know the reasons behind this slowdown if we want to comprehend the science behind the economics. The reasons are heightened trade tensions like Brexit. Brexit is UK's exit from European Union. Apparently, the exit left a black mark on the global economy for its own reasons. And that is a discussion for another day, but today let's focus on the impacts of it. Next, geopolitical tensions between China and the US. US under the leadership of Trump and China under the leadership of Xi Jinping have escalated the tensions to a level that both the countries banned their products. Finally, increase in corporate debts. Interesting take is that in history we refer timeline to BC and AD, before Christ and Anno Domino. But now are the times to look economy through the lens of BC and AC, before Corona and after Corona. Corona has decimated the economy with global shutdown, panic buying and supply chain disruptions. How is this change shaping the world? Is India ready to embrace the change? This will be our prime agenda for today. It is apparent that governments need money to run the engine, but there are times where government need more money than anticipated. For example, instances like natural disaster, man-made disaster, and pandemic outbreak make countries go bankrupt. What are the options that governments have? Well, there are three options. First one, austerity, meaning cutting down on expenditure. Next, borrowing from external and internal markets. Finally, governments minting their own money. Right at this point, you need to understand that not all options suits all countries. A country like the US could go for one option, other countries could go for the another option. It is key to remember there is no one size fits all here. Now that we have three options, let's look into their advantages over one another. Firstly, austerity measures, cutting down on expenditure. What are the advantages? Not to worry about borrowing and not to worry about interest rates and not to worry about inflation. And what are the disadvantages to it? Economic growth slowdown, slump in infrastructure, manufacture and production sector, might suffer long deflation. Next, borrowing from external and internal sector. There will be no economic slowdown if we go this route. And also, development activities like infrastructure projects, manufacturing and production can resume. And there will be more money in people's hand. What are the disadvantages? There will be high interest rates and also addition to already existing national debt. And finally, government minting their own money. Advantages are there will be no interest rates as we are not borrowing money from any external or internal markets, and there will be no dependency on external internal market like we just discussed, and there will be more money in the people's hand and development activities can resume and there will be no economic slowdown. So well and good, but what are the disadvantages associated with it? There will be addition to already existing national debt and there will be huge inflation, which is a price rise. What did US do in this situation? US has chosen the third option of printing money as this suits their model of economy well. Also, as the dollar being the strong economy, they can mint money as they need. US Federal Reserve announced 2 trillion towards government stimulus package. US already has 23 trillion national debt, taking the total to 25 trillion with interest. This 2 trillion can also be called as helicopter money as they threw money directly into the beneficiary's pocket. Now, coming to the Indian context, India also announced 20 lakh crore rupees, which is equivalent to 10% of GDP as stimulus package. But here is the thing. How is the government of India financing this money? Well, let us look into the options India has. Why not print money like the US? By printing money, government can increase production, increase export and import, raise economy. But due to lockdown, there is no external or internal demand. Indian government decided not to print money for two reasons. As this would increase inflation, as Indian rupee is not a stronger currency in the world's basket of currencies, there will be no demand for rupee in the market. Hence, printing money would add more problem to the existing ones. Why not borrow money from the banks? Foreign direct investments are moving out of India, unwilling to invest. Government of India could borrow from internal banks, but this would add more interest rates to its domestic customers. So Government of India might be skeptical to go that route. Government of India could privatize its PSUs and cut down its expenditure. But domestic market is so bad that no private player is willing to purchase any PSUs, as we saw in Air India and BSNL buyouts. Finally, why not cut down on expenditure? Definitely yes, this is the most viable solution considering the ramifications of other two options. But the only caveat here is Government of India might experience a slump in development activities and had to suffer a longer deflation period. So that being said, with US pumping 2 trillion into the economy, so does other European countries. When pandemic ends, what is going to happen, especially to India? Well, when pandemic ends, all the money added by stimulus plus already circulating money results in more money in the market. When you have more money in the market, firms raise prices as there is more demand for short supply, which leads to inflation. In other words, currently we are experiencing deflation. After pandemic, it is another problem we will be experiencing, and that is inflation. So in Indian context, when pandemic ends, import and export starts, economy resumes, imports will be expensive as dollar will be stronger now with 2 trillion stimulus package, hence there will be more trade deficit. Government of India is in dilemma on what route to choose and how to face the world after pandemic. But they have done what any government would do under extreme circumstances. Seems like vocal for local campaign is inevitable as we might not afford to import from outside as the risk is higher. Self-reliance is the only way out for now. I hope you found this video informative. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and also like, subscribe for more thought-provoking videos. See you in the next video. Thank you.